All right. So, just waiting to see if anybody come through. Okay, Graham all the way in. What's up? Waterbox. What's up, Connor? What up, Graham? Um, yeah, man. It started a late day today. I had a meeting to go to this morning, so just got home not too long ago. We're eating pizza at the same time. Oh man. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. What kind of pizza we eating? We got pepperoni. We got pepperoni and sausage, specialty. What we talking about here? That's what's up, y'all. Chilling together. Cheese and pepperoni. Okay, okay. That's what's up. So y'all are chilling at the same house on each other's own account, eating the same pizza, checking out the live stream. That's what's up. That is what's up. Way to go, Connor. That's real friendship. That's real friendship right there. That's what you do. You haven't even been a real friend until you farted on your friend's jacket. I want you to know that. That's a sign of a good friend. When I was younger, we used to hang out. My homie used to always do that. Oh man, then y'all get into the prank calls. I see. So y'all get into a lot of mischief when y'all hang out together. I see what this is. No one's safe when y'all get together. Did they humor you or did they hang up the phone? I'm pretty sure they probably just hung up the phone. You got someone who will sit there and try to humor you for a minute. They humor. He went along with it. You caught him on a good day. That's funny. Yeah, man. I got an appointment around 3 o'clock my time. Oh, you recorded it? Yeah, send it to me, man. Yeah, email that to me. Now, I got an appointment at 3. I'm actually gonna get something done to this head of mine. I'm buckle down and get somebody to retwist it for me. I tried to do it on my own for a minute, but I just I kind of want to get it defined. I said eventually I learn how to maintain it on my own. Try to save some money, some moolah. Cause I ain't big money. I ain't big balling like you are, Graham and Connor. Y'all are balling. Like y'all big ballers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got there yet. You know. So I'm gonna buckle down and go get something done to this. But yeah, just sitting chilling. I'm trying to think of some. I said that like when I was on do the Saturday recordings, I would try to like start trying to have some kind of topic to base it all off of, and then address comments or whatnot as they come. Okay, well thanks for warning me ahead of time. Thanks for letting me know ahead of time. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to start thinking of some base topics to discuss. Um, I don't know. So I want to think about something that's relatable for all of us too. Oh yeah, definitely. It's dangerous. Yeah, what is your view of cannabis? Yeah, unless for medical purposes, you shouldn't use it. This is for medical purposes. I know here in the United States they're trying to legalize it in a few places. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so much as that it's against the law. We're here, so that's a part of it, but also for the effects that it has on you. Yeah, yeah. I know when it comes to the states, they try to find a way so they can regulate it, and a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are in jail because of it. You know what I'm saying? They like here the crime, the like the really the main population and like a majority of the population in prisons here is for drug possession or distribution. And so I know I figured the government's way of wanting to regulate it. So that's the legal side of it. As far as on a moral issue, the word tells us that we should be sober minded, and so marijuana, takes that away. Same thing, and the same thing with drinking too much. You know what I'm saying? Like some people have different levels of intoxication. Some people can drink a fairly amount of alcohol and be okay, and some can't. And even just a little bit of alteration in your mind or your mood is a sign of being intoxicated and not being sober minded. He said it's delivered. Yeah, yeah. Is it delivered there in the UK? You can get it delivered to you. Are you saying that, as far as you heard about the United States and those states that regulated it, which I don't doubt that if it's made legal in certain places, I don't doubt that it can be delivered. Oh, okay. It's not legal there. Okay, you talking about the video? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure about the UK as far as it was legal there or not. Yeah, the U.S. kind of marching to their own drum beat, regardless of what it is. See, I'll pull up my email real quick so I can see it was delivered. So y'all hanging out the whole day together. Y'all just chilling. What y'all plans later? Oh, you sent it to me on Messenger. Okay, okay, cool. I think it's CPD. It's a good thing for medicine because it calms people, but the THC. Yeah, that's what they agree. Most people talk about the THC. Is dangerous. That's the main thing. You've been over since 1:30. Cool. See, it's funny. It's funny you said that like been over since 1:30 because for me that's 15 minutes ago. Cause it's 1:46 here. That's crazy. I've always been intrigued by the time zones. You know, yeah. For us, it's like 5 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah. Like I don't think nobody's done it, but I wonder like if it's possible. Like it's just a moment. It's we know time, so time's going forward, going your direction from here. And so I was like, well, what if we was to go fast, like forward, like really, really fast? Like, would we, like, and if we was to make it back to the same spot, like, did we just warp a day? But like, we said just to go like just really fast from this spot and come back to this spot, but going across the world to the same spot, if it were possible, which it's not possible, but if it were possible, then be like, did we just warp a day into the next day? And it's like, or go backwards. Do you go backwards a day? But I think time zones are mostly for reference, not so much as that it actually warps time. But it's always been interesting to me how the time zones work. Just the orbit of the sun. I mean, not orbit of the sun, but the orbit of the Earth around the sun, and the rotation of the Earth around, as it orbits the sun is always intriguing to me. Sometimes the moon is closer, sometimes it's further away. You know. I just went on a little small tangent there, but it's all good. So I'll pull up Messenger real quick to see what was sent to me. Oh no, it's all good. I was just talking about the interesting to me about the time zones and how the Earth orbits and rotates around the sun, and you know the moon, the position of the moon, how sometimes it's closer, sometimes it's further, and how that intrigues me. That's all. I ain't say nothing too deep. Just just thinking about that, just makes me appreciative of God's creation. Okay, yeah, I got the video. I see it. I'm gonna make sure I check that out later. Did you know a year on Venus is shorter than a day on Venus? No, I had no idea about that. I know that's interesting. So it's like because Venus is so close to the sun, so it's like always daytime. So it's always daylight on Venus. Mostly, whatever part you're on is be mostly daylight for majority of the time. That's interesting. No, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Because I know closer to the sun, the faster the rotation is. So that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying that, and you texted. Yeah, okay, makes sense. That's what gets me, man. You can't. It's hard. It's hard to hold to a position that believes that there's no God. Like, just think about that for a second. If something came from nothing, and say if the Big Bang theory was a truth, then it's out of this chaos, out of this explosion, whatever came to happen to make that explosion happen. Like, you got these planets are in perfect rotation amongst each other as far as what they're supposed to do. They perfectly orbit. They do what they're supposed to do. They spin on their axis. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not worried about Earth crashing into Venus or Earth crashing into Mars because we're just out of sync. Like, we're not have to worry about any of that. What you got, buddy? Okay, yeah. You set it over there for me. You want to say hey? My son Joshua want to say hey to everybody. Well, right now we got Connor and Graham. So you say what's up? Say what's up, Connor.
What's up, Connor?
What's up, Graham?
What's up, Graham?
You see that writing here. He said. So that was Connor. Connor says, "Hey."
He said, "Hey."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hey.
This is my oldest son, Joshua.
I'm 6 years old.
6 years old. So Josiah's asleep right now, so he won't be getting on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Connor says he wish he was still 6. You gotta have a lot of fun when you're 6 years old. You don't see yourself on the camera now. We'll make faces. Yeah. It do fly by, man. It's so short. I turned 30. I turned 30 in December. It's like, man, sometimes like just like yesterday I was 15. Just, 16, 17, get ready to graduate high school. But that's been over 10 years ago now. You don't even feel like it. Well, praise God that your parents set an example that you want to look up to in that way. Because some people don't have that. So that's good, man. That's really good. And I tell you, man, I know this may sound cliche, but apart from Christ, man, I couldn't raise my kids good, man. It's like to be able to deal with disappointment, frustration, and when it comes to discipline and everything, it's like having patience. I need help with all of that, and I get all that help from God, like from the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding how patient God has been with me and how good he's been towards me. Even when I messed up, even when I made mistakes and been hard-headed, like his patience towards me, his loving kindness is like always serves as an example, as to me to look up to as far as how I parent, my children. Yeah, so patience, these kids, it's a big part of it. So let me see. Now think about it. I'm glad you let me know it's like 5 hours and 15 minutes. I told you what time it is over here, and he's like, it's like 5 hours and 15 minutes your time away from where I'm at. I've been thinking about when I want to do this session, when I can allow the calls to come in. So, but I got you guys in mind too. I want you to know I'm not forgetting about you guys all because you're in the UK. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think about how to incorporate everybody, and that's including you guys. So, trying to schedule time and just think on that as to when I'm gonna do that. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys my boys, man. Y'all come on, man. Y'all chop it up with me. I don't want to forget about you. So yeah, man. I'm gonna trying to think of that. I'm trying to think of that. So it's gonna have to be on a day, because I know if you're 5 hours ahead, there may be a Friday evening, but if I do a Friday evening, that means it have to be like right at 5 o'clock or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of hard for me because I be at work. So it's like, well, it has to be on the weekend then. You know what I'm saying? The Saturday or Sunday, and maybe a Sunday afternoon after church or whatnot. Maybe like a couple of Sundays out the week or whatever. Out the month. A couple of Sundays out the week. A couple of Sundays out the month. I'm thinking about stuff like that. Just keeping it on the forefront of my mind. But I got a time frame to work with. Now that I know it's like 5 hours ahead. So I keep that in mind. That's what's up, though. I meant to did mean to come on live earlier today and let people know that I was gonna be late doing the live stream today because of the meeting I had, but I forgot. So I know people right now are mostly chilling with their families and hanging out, kind of like you guys are doing. So, after seeing the war graves in Belgium, I'm definitely going to church as often as possible. What got you thinking that? Like, so seeing the graves in Belgium, what was the? It got you thinking about death more, or it got you thinking about life being short, or, you know, the concept of war? Like, what made you like come to that? So you see the graves, and he's like, man, I want to go to church more often. Your life being fragile mostly, yeah, man. Yep. You know, we all have a habit of taking for granted the time we have. Like right now, I mean, I'm talking to you guys now, and I assume that within the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna be okay here with my family. Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, yeah, man. And see, some war has to happen. You know what I'm saying? But some are uncalled for. Some battles are uncalled for. But yeah, and like people do go too far. Like a lot of people, the things that have happened in some wars are crazy. You know, it's more than about justice. It's stuff like that. It's about just being cynical and evil and so on and so forth. That is true. But we all take for granted this time we have, man. If there was a war today, no one would be left. It'd be in a human story. And we talking about if we had I don't know, like if we was to have another world war, that's what everybody's trying to avoid. They don't want to have a World War III because it will be that bad. I mean, you talking about it ain't just like one country that has nuclear weapons. You're talking about like a lot of countries have nuclear weapons now. The United States try to be like the big brother and try to see who got them and who need and try to regulate with other countries and stuff like that. But just like in North Korea, they got their nuclear weapons and whatnot. Russia got theirs, so on and so forth. Man, you talk about some bombing. So that's why I do appreciate a little bit how the United Nations are try to come together, resolve conflict, to keep it from getting to a world war. Though I don't know how long it'll last, given the worldviews that are in power. But yep. Sometimes I wonder, and this is just me talking, but it's just my opinion, or just my thoughts. I ain't even say it's my opinion, but it's just my thoughts. Like sometimes I wonder, like the Bible tells us that when God comes this time, when it's the end will be by fire. When He destroy the world again, it'll be by fire, and not by water. Sometimes I wonder if that would be in the form of war. I wonder if that would be, if that would be it. Like instead of fire coming down from heaven, which could be the case, but instead of fire coming down from heaven, it'd be from a lot of explosions and blowing things up and A, B, and C, which we end up being in the end, as far as the earth concerned. Sometimes I think about that. It's a possibility that I have in my mind. That's why I haven't really done I haven't done much like many videos. If you look at my channel, I haven't done many videos on the end times because there's a lot of it that I'm still combing through myself. But one thing's for sure about the end times is that, man, regardless if it be by bombs or be by fire from heaven, or case may be, we know that one day this earth will go away, but God says that He'll do away with this earth, and then there'll be a new heaven, a new earth, and those who are in Christ will be with Him, and this new Jerusalem. And so I look forward to that, and everything else, all the wicked, all the evil, everything will be cast into the lake of fire. Now that's the truth. So I think, so it's like within with other things that I do have questions about, there are things that are for certain. And so it's like, man, just my hope is in Christ.
Have we had this before?
No, we haven't had that before.
It was in my room.
It probably came in one of your bags from school. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry for changing the topic. I saw the video earlier and I have no clue what the woke church is. You don't have to. Oh yeah, it's all good, man. You don't mind changing the subject. So, uh, yeah, you're not gonna do too much about it because you're over in the UK. But you're familiar with slavery in the United States. Are you familiar with that though? Um, the civil rights era and everything else in the U.S. Because that has a lot to do with it. I gotta wait for the response, but so on a make a I'm trying to make this without having to go into a long story. But if you do understand about slavery in the United States and Jim Crow laws and so on and so forth, then back during that time where it's heavy in racism, um, black people come to believe that black people here come to believe that Christianity was a white man's religion. You know, it was basically made by white men to enslave black people or keep them in a place of submission. You know, and this coming from um, different people who have different opinions about history. And which I just feel like people who believe that is because they don't understand that there were Christians in Africa before the slave trade. Right. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? But it's still, so the thing is, the argument is, yes, you may say it's not a problem, as big a problem, but it still is a problem. And that's what they will say. You know what I'm saying? So the woke church came about because you have you got publications with a white Jesus and a white Paul, a white this and white that. And so it's like, well, these people, it makes it seem like black people didn't do nothing. Like black people didn't have no part in the growing of theology or teaching the truth and everything. You see is like it was just white people. Like, you know, and anybody who knows history, church history, knows there were some Africans who were Christian and who knew the scriptures and knew what they taught. It was very instrumental in their area, what they did in their time. Um, there were church fathers who were African. You know, I mean, anybody who does the history knows that. You know, but the thing is, the woke church people get mad because it's not taught regularly. Like it's not something they don't like. People are not making this a focus of their sermons or a focus of their ministries to make that stuff known. You know, and me personally, I feel like there's a place and time for all that. You know, so but anyway, um, so you got, that's where you have a start of that, being that there's still this racism that exists. Um, there's people who are still being marginalized, who are still oppressed by society, and when it comes to the church, it's an oppression because you don't see many black leaders in predominantly white churches and so on and so forth. Like that's where the argument would come about. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Yeah. So I did a series on Eric Mason's book, The Woke Church, and I did I got a whole playlist about some of that stuff. So I would encourage you to check it out. Um, Without trying to make it a long drawn out story. That's the best I can do right now. Yeah, but I do keep in mind, and I want you to know I do keep in mind, man. Like when I do post stuff like that, I'm like, so I want to Connor them know anything about this stuff that's going on, you know, over here, because I don't hear much about it going on like that overseas. But here, it's definitely a problem, and it got a foothold into a lot of areas, and and the movement is kind of growing. But there are some people who are recognizing the inconsistencies of that position, who are seeing the holes in it and are coming out of it. So I'm thankful for that too. So yeah, so racism is still an issue. It's not done systematically like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it used to be very systemic. Post slavery, I mean, it was against the law for blacks to learn how to read, to write. White people would get either beat or put in jail for teaching blacks how to read or teaching them how to write. So I mean, you had that going on. The fact that black people couldn't vote, that was another thing. Um, they couldn't segregation, another thing, and everything that blacks had were basically run down and nasty compared to what the whites had. So like that, so you had all this stuff going on that was systemic. It was done by a system of racism. Whereas now we don't have those things in place, but there you do, all because those laws have changed. That doesn't fix men's hearts. Only God in His spirit can change a man's heart from being evil to good. And so, even though laws change, there still exists racist people, and that's not just white people who are racist. Black people can be racist. Hispanic people can be racist. Asian people can be racist. So anybody can show partiality, and they can choose whatever reason they want to be partial in. But anybody can be guilty of that sin. So, yeah. So racism still exists, but it's not done system. I don't believe it's systemic, as some people try to say. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you for bringing it up, though, Connor. That's good, man. And if you ever have one more questions about it, you're welcome to hit me up, or you can check out the videos and stuff. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I've heard people say that, and it's funny because people that I actually respect, I actually looked up to, say stuff like that. It's like, really, like they feel like because you can only be racist if you're in a position of power. You know, it's like no, because you're like, and it's like, or if you have this quote unquote privilege, and it's like, man, like no, because racism is a matter of the heart, not status quo. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes from. It's how you feel towards somebody. You know what I'm saying? Your racism shows, it can be shown outwardly, but it's something that happens within. You have hatred for somebody within based on skin color or, ancestral background and so on and so forth. So really it's a sin of partiality. Like I'm impartial towards you because of the fact that you're black. So therefore, I'm gonna be nicer to these people because they're not black, but I'm gonna be mean to you because you are black. And I'm gonna sell to these people because they're not black, and I'm not gonna sell to you because you are black. It's partiality, the sin of partiality. I wonder what the cost would be like this. Like if somebody was trying to send something overseas. I never tried to send a package overseas somewhere. I wonder what the cost would be. I know it'd be high, considerably high. But I wonder. Like, what is your opinion on positive discrimination? Positive discrimination. I don't know. You have to unpack that a little bit for me. Oh, okay. Or I think it's affirmative action over there. Oh, okay. Wow, over there they call it positive discrimination. That is wild. Like that should make people think about it a little bit. Because, see, over here, some people may think affirmative action is good. I don't agree with it. I think it's bad. I think it's demeaning. The fact that you hire a black person just to meet your quota versus the fact that they actually are qualified, I think that's demeaning. But if they call it positive discrimination, if that's another name for it, that's a synonym for that, then that's very interesting. That's very telling. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's wow. Cause people who affirm affirmative action should really think about that. It's positive discrimination in the context of the allegation of resources or employment. Whoa. The practice or policy of favoring individuals belonging to groups known to have been discriminated against previously. Affirmative action. Hot dog. I just learned something new. Wow. I had no idea they called it a positive discrimination. So you're discriminating against other people, but you call it positive. So you're still discriminating. Wow. So discrimination can only be bad if it's against black people. Oh man, that's crazy. That's wild. I appreciate you for asking that, because I had no idea they called it positive discrimination. And that's like, I guess it's an attempt of the left to try to make that sound good. Like, well, if we just put the word positive in front of it, then discrimination doesn't sound too bad. That's that sprinkling sugar on crap all over again. It's hot, stinking mess, and they sprinkle sugar on it and try to get people to eat it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, this world we live in. Yeah, it's going on. About headed on 40 minutes now. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all coming on, Connor and Graham, man. I think y'all chopped up with me the most on here. I don't know if anybody else came on or not. If you did come on, just checking it out, whatnot. Thank you for tuning in. Man, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe and connect with me. My email's in the description, as well as the number you can call. And I don't mind people calling. I don't mind, people emailing me or whatnot, whatever case may be. If you want to support this ministry financially, Patreon, if it's only $1 or not, it's up to you. I really appreciate it. If not, I appreciate your prayers. Continue to keep praying for me. The Lord continue to give me guidance with this ministry and the direction that it goes. And I just look forward to connect with you guys again. And so I know I won't see my UK brothers come Wednesday, but on Wednesday night, I should say. But for the rest of you guys, hopefully we can connect again Wednesday evening for the podcast. And Lord willing, I'll see you guys again or hear from you guys again come next Saturday. So until then, have a great day. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, that this world is full of errors, as we were talking about in this thread. But praise God that the doctor, he prescribes truth. All right, Connor. All right, Graham. Peace out.